Michael Rice is Professor of Ethics at the Institute of Education. He outlines the ethics of prenatal diagnostic testing.
Those tests can be done at various ages, but about the earliest in pregnancy they can really be done is about 10 weeks after conception. What everybody agrees about is that 10 weeks after conception, you're still at the stage where the embryo can't feel any pain, can't feel any pleasure either. There is no way it can physically suffer. So if the pregnancy is terminated at that fairly early stage, the ethical questions are not to do with pain and suffering, they're to do with, are you destroying human life, which in some absolute way should not be destroyed.
Considering termination of pregnancy is always very, very difficult for any couple who considers that. And it's not a decision that anybody makes lightly. But couples who know they have a 1 in 2 chance or a 1 in 4 chance of having a child with a serious abnormality may feel that they and their family simply couldn't cope with bringing up another affected child who may well die when they're quite young. And for them, the opportunity of being able to test a pregnancy and see whether or not it is affected is one that they will consider.
The world divides into these two camps. There is the camp that thinks once you get a fertilized egg, so a sperm and egg coming together, you have a new human life, and that human life has moral status. It has a real moral worth. The hardliners would argue it's got the same moral worth as a newborn baby. Now, if you believe that genuinely, then of course, ending a pregnancy 10 weeks in is as bad as killing a newborn baby.
It really is your generation that is going to be confronted with answering
Patrick Cusworth is a spokesman for the charity Life, which promotes the rights of the unborn child.
There's no doubt at all that certain cases do hit the fore that can be extremely distressing, can be extremely painful for both parents and children involved. However, when we as a society start deciding effectively who lives and who dies, making a quality control decision as to the life of a child, then society really seems to have taken a very dangerous path there. We're making very dangerous decisions over the lives of other people without any input from those people who are indeed affected by these kinds of conditions.
But then there's the other camp that says, well, actually, what really quite so magically happens at the moment of conception? Obviously, you get a sperm and egg coming together, so you know the genes that are there, but you haven't yet become a real human life. You are at the beginning of a journey which gradually develops over the 9 months of pregnancy. And therefore, at an early stage, 10 weeks in, you're not yet terminating a real human being.
We can't judge a human being on the basis of whether he or she is disabled or whether he or she is a carrier of the wrong gene or not. What we have to keep in mind at the heart of everything is that human life is valuable for what it is. Every human being is worth fighting for. Every human being is inherently valuable.
The Snapes thought through all these issues carefully and decided eventually not to have the test. They felt they were not prepared to terminate a pregnancy even if the test showed the fetus would develop SMA.
Even though it would have been tough if we'd have had another child with SMA, we still would have given it as much love as we have done Kate and as much attention. And that's what we decided really. That was the reason why we wouldn't abort a baby once it was there, even if it did carry the gene.
It's easy to sympathise with the Snapes' dilemma, but fortunately, genetic medicine was able to offer them another choice, one that has attracted a lot of controversy.